When looking at the performance of your Tapco cutoffs, it should be a nice straight cut and fairly dull once it's cut. If you have a jagged edge, or if it curls up or down or leaves a wavy coil stock down the edge of the cut, you might need a tune-up kit for your cutoff. A couple things to look at is to make sure your main body is not damaged at all, because that could lead to some of the issues also. But if it's mostly within your knives and your track bearings, then we make a cutoff set for that, cutoff tune-up kit set for that. So with the tune-up kit, you're going to get 2 new knives, the bolts to hold the knives in, 2 new track bearings, the bolts to hold those in, 2 shims, and 3 smaller shims. So when you're looking at your cutoff, what you want is to have it calibrated correctly after you put it together. So if you spin the bottom wheel, the top wheel should spin also. But if you put a little pressure on it, then you should be able to hold the top wheel and still spin the bottom wheel. So you want just a slight bit of friction there to get it calibrated correctly. And you can see this one, we spin it and the top wheel does not spin. So therefore it is not calibrated correctly, and you're probably getting a wavy cut because of this. So what we're going to do is remove the bolts and knives, take them out. And to start, what we want to do is to take them apart, clean up anything inside, if the shims and the spacer, if you need to, if they're dirty, and then put it back the same way it was to see if it is calibrated correctly. So what we're going to do is take these out. These shims look pretty good, so no need to clean. And we're going to put the new knives in. You can use the new bolts, but again, you're probably going to end up with extra pieces on this. We just give you enough pieces to make sure you can get this tuned up correctly. So we put the spacer on first, which is the thicker one, and then we add the shims. And again, it goes back the same way we just had it. Put the new knives on. Grab a new bolt too. So now we're going to look at it again, see when we put it all back together the same way we took it apart. And again, we still don't have enough friction there to get that perfect cut that we want. So what we're going to do, since they're not touching, is we're actually going to remove a shim so that it brings these closer together. If you put it back together and it turns really hard, or you can't hold this one down and spin the other one, then you would actually add some of the spacers we supply. But since we have the problem where it's not touching, we'll remove one knife and take one shim out and put it back together. So there is a tiny bit of trial and error here, but like I said, we supply you enough pieces to make sure that you can get it calibrated correctly like it is at the factory. So I'm going to remove the shim, spacer on bottom, shim on top. So now that we removed the spacer, we're going to spin the bottom one, and we see both of the wheels are moving, and then you can hold down the one wheel and you can still spin the other wheel. So therefore that's the right amount of friction that you want to make it calibrated correctly, and that should give you a perfect cut on your coil stock. The max cutoff comes with the same pieces, just the ones that go with the max cutoff, but that one's really easy to calibrate because it has the adjustment screw on it, so you can actually adjust those wheels in and out. So if you're cutting or thinner stock, then you will put them real close together, similar to how the Pro comes. If you're cutting thicker stock, you'll space them apart.